Oh my gosh, my friend sent me a text saying that a wheel fell off his trailer, and he sent me a picture as well. Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of RV Tips and Trips. Today I want to talk to you about something that is potentially really dangerous, and a friend of mine recently experienced this. And that is by overloading your trailer and exceeding the maximum weight. Alright, so you need to know how much your trailer weighs, and you need to know the specifications on your trailer. So we'll use my friend's travel trailer as an example. He has a 2019 Laredo 335 MK, I believe, maximum gross vehicle weight rating. Okay, on that is 9,840 pounds. Now that weight includes the tongue and the axle weight, which gives you your total weight of the trailer. Now we're talking about the trailer being loaded, not empty, so things can add up really quick. So he took his rig to a cat scale and weighed it. Now we only got the one weight. Ideally you need to do two weight readings. One with the trailer and the truck hitched up, and on the cat scale it'll give you the weight on each axle. So you got your front axle on your tow vehicle, the drive wheel weight as well, and then the trailer axle weight. All three of those weights combined is your total gross vehicle weight of the entire setup. But what we're after today is the weight of the trailer on the trailer axles and the tongue weight. Okay, if you got a fifth wheel, then it's the kingpin weight. So you got to bear in mind your total vehicle weight of the trailer is the axle weight of the trailer plus your tongue or kingpin weight, and that's the actual weight of your trailer. So only way to do this is to get two readings on the cat scale. You drive up with your rig and you get all the weights on all the axles. Then you should go off the scale, park the trailer, separate the trailer from the truck, and then come back up on the scale again. So the truck's at like Flying J or Pilot, there should be lots of room over where the tractor trailers are. Just going to temporarily unhitch the trailer and then drive the truck up by itself. And when you do that, you are interested in the drive axle weight or the rear axle weight of the truck without the trailer. Okay? Now you'll be able to determine either your kingpin weight or the tongue weight of your trailer by taking the first reading of your drive axle weight and subtracting out the second reading on the drive axle weight, and that will be your tongue weight. Then you will take your tongue weight and add it to your trailer axle weight, and that will give you your total gross vehicle weight. Before, when we added all the axles together, that was your total gross vehicle weight, like I said, of the entire rig. But today we're interested in just the trailer. Alright, so when my friend, who will remain nameless, told me, I weighed it and I'm 500 pounds underweight. I didn't even stop and think about it, but he told me his weight was like 9,400 pounds and change. I don't remember the exact figures, so we'll say 9,400 pounds. That was the axle weight of the trailer, and he thought that was his total weight, which is wrong. So he thought that he was actually underweight when in reality he was overweight. because if you look in the specifications on the trailer, the tongue weight typically is 1,100 pounds on that trailer if you got things balanced out right. So got to dig a little deeper. What are the ratings of the axles? You need to know this. Then you'll know what the maximum weight you can put on those axles. And there's a label on your trailer that tells you what they are. On his, he has a 2019 Laredo 335 MK. The label says 4,400 pounds max per axle. Well, okay, so he's got two axles, 4,400 pounds each. That's a maximum weight load of 8,800 pounds. That's all they can handle. He had 94 or 9,500 pounds on the axles combined. So he was over on the axle weight by, what is that, 88, and he was like 9,500 pounds. So 700 pounds over on the axles. And this led to a major problem, which he is so lucky that he escaped a major disaster, because this could have not ended very well. So he was over there. And then if you add in your tongue weight of 1,100 pounds onto the 9,500 pounds that he got on the axles, then you're, what, 10,600 pounds. And if the trailer max weight is 9,800 pounds, there again, that proves out he was 600 or 700 pounds overweight, which is a lot. You have to keep in mind, these trailers are not designed with a lot of headroom. Most designs in anything that you do usually gives you about a 10% headroom. So if somebody overdoes something, it shouldn't be a major problem. But on RVs, when they say maximum gross vehicle weight is 10,000 pounds, they mean it. They don't mean, hey, you can go ahead to 10,100 or 10,200 pounds, it's okay. It's not. So when they spec out maximum weight, and it was like 9840 was the maximum weight of this trailer, they were just like way over. Created problems with the bearings, and then other issues. So when I first heard from him, sent me a text, my friend, and he said my wheel fell off. I was like, crazy. Well, here, I'll do this on the other thing. All right, so this is what can happen when you overload your trailer and you got too much weight on your axles. So my friend texted me a picture of this, and my wheel fell off. Now, he was fortunate enough that the wheel fell off not on a highway, but when they were at their campground and they went to the dump station, the tire fell off nearby the dump station. Didn't realize it till they got to the campsite, went to put the trailer in its spot, and noticed they were missing a wheel, and they went back and got the wheel. And so there it is. Let's zoom in. And you can see you got pieces of the brake lining and springs and stuff sitting in the drum. And there's what's left on the of the brakes in that. So let's get a closer look at this. So there's a close-up shot right here. You can see the castle nut is still in place. So it's not like the castle nut loosened, dropped off, and then the wheel is able to slide off. The wheel bearing broke. You can still see part of the outer wheel bearing sitting right there. So the bearing fell apart, which allowed the drum just to slide right off the axle. You can see there's grease in there, but it's real black, so I suspect that this hub was running really hot. It was extremely hot out when they were traveling down the highway. It was like over 100 degrees. That, and then the bearing itself was creating heat, and so it probably just liquefied that bearing grease and made the situation worse. So he did say that they had lubricated these bearings not too long ago. So I like that red and tacky lithium grease. Seems to hold up very well, has a high drop point. So it takes a lot of heat to melt that off. But this is a result of too much weight on the axle, destroying the bearings. So, like I said, his rig was 4,400 pounds was the rating of each axle, which gives you a total combined weight capability of 8,800 pounds. And if he weighed out 9,500 pounds on there, that's over 88 minus the 9,500 is 700 pounds over what these two axles combined can handle. So they always give you the maximum weights that these things can handle, and it is no more. I mean, there is no headroom. So this ran him about $1,300 to get fixed. They replaced the bearings, redid the brakes on this, and they called it good. About 2 weeks later, he was traveling down the road. He lost another wheel. Somebody pulled up alongside him and said there was a lot of smoke coming out from one of the wheels. So that was the bearing being destroyed, and it was on the other wheel. So what they decided to do was have the axles replaced, and they went with a heavier duty axle. So they got new axles which are rated 7,000 pounds each, and replaced both axles. So now the axle combined weight can handle 14,000 pounds. Now I told them, don't let this give you a false sense of security, okay? Because the frame of the trailer is not designed to handle that kind of weight either. So even though the axles are now heavy duty, and you got heavy duty bearings, and that's going to fix that all, you're still going to have to reduce your weight because you could cause frame damage. Okay, so the cost on getting these axles replaced, I think, ran them another $4,000. So he's got quite an investment in there. So somewhere around there, I don't know, I don't remember the exact figure. So new axles, and then they noticed that the springs on these guys, let's see if we can, let me unzoom here. These are what's called slipper springs. They slide back and forth a little bit, so when you turn, the axles move in the turn. So, and there, over here, you don't see it in this picture, there's a hanging bracket that kind of rocks, and I'll grab it, I'll take a picture of one of mine and put it up, which goes between the two axle leaf spring setups. And there was excessive wear on that link, and so they couldn't, there's lubrication fittings on there, and it wouldn't accept any grease. So they decided to go ahead and replace these leaf springs and the pivots, or the hangers for the springs. And then they noticed something. And the new leaf springs was another $450. What you're looking at here is the I-beam of the frame. And they noticed these cracks. See, here's a crack along there. So, and it was on both sides. Here's the hanging bracket that welds to the frame here. This is the lip of the I-beam. That's the bracket there. Let's see, can we zoom out a little? So, bracket, the bottom lip of the I-beam. This is actually vertical, and this is a stress crack right along, right above where that hanging bracket is. That's welded here. And they had it on both sides of the trailer over these 2 points. So what they did is to stop the crack, this is what you do. You drill a hole here and you drill a hole at the other end of the crack, so then the crack can't continue. And then they welded a bead right in here just to weld it. So, and that takes care of that. So the stress cracks are from being overweight there again. So there, a lot of damage can occur. Here's the other thing too. I told him at one point his tires, he was inflating them to 80 psi because that's what it says on the sidewalls. But if you look on the label of the trailer says 65 psi. When you overinflate the tires like that, the tires absorb less of the energy from the road and transfer it to the frame of your trailer, and that could have also helped the stress crack along. So if you have it properly inflated to 65 psi, the tire itself would have absorbed some of the energy from the road. So, you know, if you hit some potholes and stuff. So this could have been disastrous. The second time the wheel fell off, like I said, it didn't fall off until he pulled off to the side of the roads. Fortunately, somebody was nice enough to come up alongside him and tell him there was a problem back there, and he pulled off. It was just pouring smoke out of the wheel. And can you imagine if you lost the wheel like that going down the highway at 65 miles an hour? Major disaster could have struck, but he was lucky both times. So the importance of keeping the weight within the specs of the trailer is so important. Just keep that in mind. Always. Full-timers end up doing this more than the weekend warrior kind of people. So it's because you're trying to take as much of stuff that you had with you. The temptation is real strong, but you got to do both weights. Like I say, you can't do just one. You got to take 2 weight readings and get the exact number of the tongue weight and the trailer axle weight. This is that mounting bracket I was telling you about. It pivots to allow the springs to slip back and forth. So this piece was also no good, and they had to replace it. Okay, so that's about it for today. Just remember, safety first. Make sure your rig is within specs. Get your 2 weight readings with and without the trailer, and determine exactly how much your rig weighs, and if it's over, you need to adjust accordingly. Start getting rid of stuff. Alright, so you got to make sure that your weight is within specs. Otherwise, disaster can happen to you. Alright, until next time, happy camping. Bye now. Thomas says thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and like and share. Until next time, happy camping.